Hello! So you're about to start a low-carb ketogenic diet. That's great. You're going to be so much better when you're a few months into it than you are today. But I'm here to help you start it safely, effectively, and efficiently. So let's get started while I take a little run around the lake here. So everything has a beginning, right? Life has a beginning. Your new diet has a beginning. Beginnings are crucially important. Getting a good start is important. And I want to talk to you about how to start your diet effectively. So let's talk about inheritance. You know, we get a lot of stuff from our parents. I got my flat feet from my dad. Got my body type from my mom. She was tall and skinny. And then there's some goodies that nobody tells you about. For example, your mom gives you all the bacteria that live in your gut, unless you're cesarean born. Most of us have our mom's gut. And that also goes for all the bacteria on your skin. You'll find, if you do a little research, that what lives in your body, there's more life living in you than there is of you. So, what else did your mom give you? How about life itself? That's pretty important. But inside each and every one of your cells is a little thing called mitochondria. And those are like primitive bacteria that actually live inside your cells, and they produce the energy your body runs on. And you got that DNA, and those little mitochondria all came from your mom. So we all owe a huge debt to our moms, and I hope we take every chance we get to tell our moms that. And if they're gone, it's okay to just say thanks anyway. So let's continue about the new diet. I want to introduce in this episode a few of the tools you'll use to get a great start. So I expect you to fact check everything I say, do your own research, act like adults would. So don't take anything I say for granted. Look it up. You'll find almost everything I say is backed up by medical doctors that are specialists in the field. But do the fact checking. And let me introduce the first tool that is so instrumental in getting started correctly. And that's YouTube. The $10 you spend on YouTube Red is well worth it every month because you won't have to listen to commercials. More importantly, once YouTube knows you're interested in keto diets or taking sugar out of your diet or what kind of oils are healthy, it's going to send you new video opportunities. And it watches you, and through the use of algorithms, it will send you more and more relevant content to watch. So over the course of a couple of years, you can literally become better informed than your doctor is. And that's no lie. So let's talk for a minute about getting a fresh, clean start. You need a benchmark. You need to know where you started from. And I'm talking about everything from blood work, to weight, to body composition, to what you're actually eating. I would encourage you to take a couple of weeks to just monitor your diet and your sleep and what you do with your life so that you know who you are or who you were when you started this expedition. And it is an expedition. So, in that regard, I'd like to highly recommend that you go find some place that has an in-body scanner. Now what that is a scale with a bunch of electrodes that monitor your weight and body composition. So after you have the scan done, you'll know accurately what your base metabolic burn is. For example, I'm supposed to burn 1,750 calories a day before exercise. Now, I have a habit of under-eating that. Consequently, I have a habit of being too skinny, which is not a good thing. So, in addition to that, you will learn how much body fat you have, how much muscle and bone you have. And that's a big, big help a year from now, or 2 years from now. So go find an in-body scanner, pay the 30 to 50 bucks it costs, put the report in your file. Okay, so you start with an in-body scanner report, and you know your percentage of fat, muscle, and water, etc. Then what do? You go down to your local CVS or you go online and you buy yourself a biometric scale for about 20 bucks. And that will give you the same readings, essentially, without all the metabolic info. It will still give you your percentage of fat, water, bones, and muscle, which is what you want to monitor every day, right? Right. All right, so the next tool you're going to want is an app for your phone called Carb Manager, as in carbohydrate manager. But it's a program developed for low-carb diets. And inside the program, you'll find it's already set up for whatever you want to pursue, whether it's paleo, Mediterranean, keto, low-carb, etc. It's all in there. You just got to pick one, put in some basic info, and start recording. And what do you record? Everything you eat. That's right, everything you eat. Just put it all in there. And you'll learn what works and what doesn't. More importantly, you'll learn what works for you. Because you know that biome you got from your mom? It is unlike anybody else's. And stuff that may work for your friend may not work for you, and vice versa. So you need the Carb Manager app to see what works. Because over a week or a month, you're going to figure out that there's some foods that don't do well with you, and some that do. And Carb Manager will help you with that. Okay, so there's one more thing you need. And it's a little $30 to $40 device called a ketone meter. Now, what it monitors is your breath. It monitors the ketones that it senses in your breath. Now, if you don't know what a ketone is, that's what your body creates when it's in fasting mode. In other words, when it's not burning sugar in some form. When it's burning fat, you're creating ketones. And that's where the name ketogenic comes from the ketones. And what you find is, I hope, that the ketones are a better fuel all around than the sugar and the carbs you're living on today. You're going to find you have more alertness and more endurance by far. And you're not going to get starving, hungry at the drop of a hat either. So, once you have your ketone meter ready to go, you give it a try, and you may not be producing any ketones the first time you use it. Matter of fact, might continue for a while. And what you'll also find probably is that you're going to start at the very low end of the range and then build up. So, for almost a year, I was waking up with 0.3 on the keto meter. And I was so depressed because that was the only time I was checking. Well, if I had bothered to check late afternoon, early evening, that reading would have gone up 5, 7, 10, 15. Depends on the day. But you're burning ketones and producing them according to what you're eating the night before and how long it's been since you ate today. So that brings me to the first really big topic, the really, really big show here. And that's timing your meals. So how many times have you been told to eat several meals a day and keep your blood sugar constant, your protein constant, some other feel-good thing constant? Well, guess what? Nature didn't build animals that way. Believe it or not, we're an animal. And what you're going to find is that you will kick into ketosis after about 12 hours of not eating. It takes 12 hours. So from the time you eat dinner at, let's say, 6 p.m., you're not going to produce any ketones until 6 a.m., any meaningful amounts. But by the next day at noon, yeah, then you're producing ketones. The question is, what do you do about breakfast? Well, it's up to each of us to sort of learn to narrow our eating window down to about 8 or 9 hours. And you can do that progressively, slowly, comfortably, as you will. Because in the morning, let's not forget, you have those wonderful substitutes for energy called coffee and tea. And as long as you stay away from the sugars, coffee and tea will not knock you out of ketosis. So all you have to do is hour at a time, day by day, week by week, is to move your eating window up to where you're eating lunch, maybe an afternoon snack, and dinner. And those are your primary feedings for the day, and everything else is fasting. Because what happens in fasting is your body's taking out the trash in a process called autophagy. And it's cleaning up all the internal cell byproducts that need to be exported from your body, and it's doing all kinds of other stuff that is important. So fasting, or not starting your eating for the day, doesn't cost you a penny. There's no energy penalty for it. It's just something you get used to, and as you get used to it, your ketones are going to change. Your body's going to become metabolically adapted to burning fat, which chances are you're not doing much of today. So that's pretty simple, and I can direct you to several MDs that will tell you everything you need to know about how to do that safely and effectively. All right, so a couple more hints here. If you're about to start a ketogenic diet, it would probably be a good idea to learn about fats, because that's going to be the centerpiece of your diet. You're going to focus on protein and fat quality, and you're going to try to diminish the carbs down to a minimal level. Now, there is a minimal level for everybody, and that's at the level at which you're keeping your little gut buddies happy. Because if they're unhappy, you're unhappy. So you do need some resistant fiber, some resistant starch in your diet, but it can be very minimal. And there's quite a bit of learning to do about fats. By the way, salt, minerals, proteins, there's a lot of stuff to learn about. So be prepared to challenge some of your long-held informative beliefs. So I think that wraps this up. But if you stay with me in future episodes, I'm going to tell you all the mistakes I made and how not to make them. I'm going to show you how to monitor your progress so it really works. And I'm going to introduce you to the best MDs that I've found on the web that'll give you the best information that I found out there. So please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're interested. Good luck on your quest, and have a great day. Oh, and by the way, if you wonder why I forced you to watch me run, I'm a little bit proud of myself because I'm 71 years old. I've never been overweight. I've always watched my diet. I practice self-defense in the eating department, and I've lived a pretty good life. And this is proof positive that I can still run and I'm not BSing anybody. So take care.